Static buzz crackles in the night. James and Dan on the air alive. Hump Day warriors, we thrive. Raise a glass, feel the sound. Happy hour shakes the ground. Waves of freedom break the air. Rocking parks like we just don't care. Antennas twist, catch the sky. Ham radio, calling out the brave. Tonight we rise, tonight we rave. Raise a glass, feel the sound. Happy hour shakes the ground. Waves of freedom break the air. Rocking parks like we just don't care. Feel the pulse, it's a living fire. Live stream, raw hearts conspire. Through the static, we break the chains. James and Dan, tearing through the veins. Raise a glass, feel the sound. Happy hour shakes the ground. Waves of freedom break the air. Rocking parks like we just don't care.
What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zoo November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by, your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It is Hump Day. Time for the Hump Day Happy Hour. Hopefully we're going to have a good time tonight. And before we do, we're going to thank the guys that make a lot of streams and a lot of videos possible. These are the Patreons. They are absolutely awesome. And I tell you what, if you find my videos useful in your ham radio career, maybe think about joining Patreon or the YouTube members to help give us a little support to keep these adventures going. Also, shout out to these YouTube members. Also, equally important, you know, that list looks better ever since Josh has joined that rover. I'd still like to see a few more rovers, but that list does look better at least now, don't it, Dan?
It does.
And the ever-changing board that didn't change at all. So thanks for each and every one of these guys as well. What's going on, Dan?
Man, it's creeping up, and I can't wait. Before we know it, Huntsville's going to be here, and that's going to be a blast. Let's see who all is here tonight. Whiskey 1, Whiskey Charlie. Brian, hello, hello. Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time, and Kilo 4. What's going on, Michael, Mary, and Max? Hey, Max, how you doing? Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra X-Ray Hotel Bill, what's going on? Andy Callie, always a staple, man. What's up? 2 Echo 0 Romeo Echo Echo. We figured that one out. Kent Kilo 9 Alpha Echo Echo. What's going on, buddy? Casey, Kilo Charlie 5, Mike Juliet Echo. What's up, man? Mike 88 KB. Hello, hello. The loudmouth from East Tennessee. Whiskey 0 Charlie Golf Charlie. What's going on, buddy? Victor Echo 3 Lima Bravo India 59A. How's it going up there in Hammertown? Brent, November 4 Bravo Delta Whiskey here in Western West Virginia, a.k.a. Kentucky. Welcome, welcome. Gene McPhee from Killeen, Texas, N3XUS. How about it, buddy? Terry, that's that Kilo 8 Golf Quebec from Wet, Virginia. If you've never heard him and James's pile up, just listen. You will eventually, I promise. James Walker, Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Victor Kilo. Dad, what's going on? Kilo 8 November India Victor John, also from Wet, Virginia. Welcome, welcome. There's this guy called Ham Radio Tube. Never heard of him before. K Murder. What's going on? Kilo 8. Mike Romeo Delta. And scrolling on down, Steve Walker, my booze in here. Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Delta Victor. Yeah, that's him. He's on his bike, roving around the Midwest. If you see him, work him. Whiskey 8 Echo Romeo Liz and fam says I'm 5'9" with the meatballs. I appreciate it. Alpha Delta 9 Whiskey Mike. Dennis, what's going on, buddy? Whiskey 8 Juliet Echo Sierra Radio. Hello, hello. You are back in Ohio. That is awesome. Kilo Echo 6 GAE, the Hillbilly Ham. Howdy, howdy. Daddy Rose is in here. K8 APR. What's going on, buddy? Josh, Kilo 4 Lima India, the Chicken Man from Kakalaki, has graced us with his presence. Georgia Parks and Propagation. That's our buddy Ron Chris, Alpha Echo 4. X-Ray Oscar. Got into TKT is here. The 0.5 watt wonder from West by God, Virginia. Also Pete Knapp, KN8 PPY. And finally, but not finally, I'm sure some other people would show up here. The Ostrich has graced us. Kilo 3, My Toy Ostrich. Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to episode 203 of Hump Day Happy Hour. We're on the path to Huntsville.
So,
James,
if there's more than one ostrich, is it a herd of ostriches? What is it?
I'm not sure. A herd? I don't know. I know more than one. Is it 3 or more? 3 or 5 or more crows is a murder.
Is a murder?
A murder of crows. Yeah.
So K Murder is really K Crow? K
Crow. That's right. Well, only if there's, I don't know how many. I want to say between like 3 and 5. But I don't know. Oh, wait. All right, we got more people. Chris, Whiskey 8 Oscar X-Ray, and we have to do this. Our buddy Ronnie, Kilo Oscar 4. Zulu. Romeo X-Ray. What's going on, buddy?
Oh. Anyway, welcome to Hump Day. We got some good stuff to talk about tonight. At least I think it's good stuff.
Yeah.
And I was kind of sort of sketching ideals in Sunday's stream, asking a few questions, and it was for a reason. It always is. Mike's like, what did I do now? Well, he said that if you have 3 or more crows, it's called a murder.
I think it's 3. It might be 5, but I'm not sure. A group of crows is a murder.
K Murder, K Crow.
Yeah. Yeah, so instead of K Murder, you're now K Crow. If you duplicate yourself. Anyway. No, we were trying to figure out what is more than one ostrich. I don't know.
Well, the reason I asked that is because my toy ostrich has been hunting me with the family. Well, he's been parking me with the family a couple of times here lately. So I'm wondering if is it a herd of ostriches?
I don't know. That's a good question.
So I don't know.
A herd or a flock? Yeah, I can see that.
But anyway, since Andy is actually watching live, he must be buttering me up for some of the King's ice cream stash. I have a feeling I'll be getting a text here, trying to get in the ice cream coffer.
What's the plural of ostrich? Is it ostriches? Ostriches? Ostrichi? Ostrichi. That sounds good.
I don't remember which animal it is, but one of them is, and I think it might be a hyena. It might be. I think, but I'm not sure. But something when there's multiple, it's called a gaggle.
That sounds like geese. But plural of geese is geese.
Ostri.
Ostri. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, this stream went sideways fast, didn't it?
Hey, we're talking about the hard stuff of POTA, and the hard stuff for me and Dan to talk about POTA is to stay on track. So that's the hard thing right off the bat.
Yeah, we need to figure out. I mean,
now we are going to talk about the hard stuff of POTA, because POTA is. I mean, honestly, it's easy. First off, if you think POTA's hard,
You're doing it wrong.
You're not watching enough of the channel.
Yeah.
Because POTA's definitely not hard in any way. POTA's a piece of cake because it's meant to be fun. Everybody should, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it way wrong. But there are some hard things to do in POTA, and we're going to talk about them tonight. And I got several things we'll talk about, but we're going to start with awards. And I'm going to go over some awards that I think is the more hard awards for the activator. And then we'll let Dan say what he thinks for the hunter. So the awards that I would think would be hard, and there's several of them. And they're not hard, but they're harder. Like they're more rare. One of them is the 6-pack. And the reason I say this is more rare is because when they did the POTA bingo card, that was one of the bingo spots. Find somebody who's got activated or hunted 6-pack.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a whole lot of people that could sign that square. So a 6-pack, you would need to get 10 contacts on 6 meters from 6 different parks. And that doesn't sound that hard.
It's true.
But 6 meters is a funny band. It's kind of like that propagation thing is a funny bird. And, you know, if you happen to catch 6 meters open while you're at the park, yeah, you can get 10 contacts really easy at that park. But then you go to the next park and you won't get none because it's totally closed. So my 6-pack took me quite a while. Now, I know people will go to parks and they'll just work each other on 6 meters and stuff like that.
I'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with working other people in the park. But if you are doing it for an award, you do not need to do it. First, you need to get your award before you start doing, you know, like I've seen people go and work all the bands to get an N1CC. And we'll talk about that award in a second. But if you don't have an N1CC award, that's just it's just not right. I mean, you got to get the award the way it's meant to be. You know, if you do it after that, that's fine. I don't care what you do then. But to get the award, you need to do it right. And the 6-pack took me a while. Matter of fact, I got my N1CC award before I got my 6-pack award. And again, we'll talk about N1CC in just a second. But yeah, so 10 contacts on 6 meters at 6 different parks. And that took me quite a while to get because, like I said, 6 meters is not. There were a lot of those parks that I'd go and I'd get 1 or 2 contacts, and then I might not get another contact in that park for 2 or 3 months.
They don't call it the magic band for nothing.
So it's definitely you know, and you know, now I have more weapons. You know, now I can do CW. Now I could do digital, which we all know that I'm just going to do PSK 31, and you're not going to find nobody on 6 feet of PSK 31.
Right.
But you know that's a hard one. The N1CC. It's not hard, but it takes a lot of work. The N1CC, you've got to have 10 different bands, 10 contacts, 10. No, it's just 10 different bands, right? Hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying that right.
Yeah. 10 different parts, 10 different bands.
Yeah, so 1 contact is fine per band, but 10 different bands at 10 different parks. And, you know, 6 meters is one of those bands you can use, but most of my N1CCs, I did not use 6 meters. That would be the one that I did not use. So
I don't think I did either. Yeah.
You know, I mean, a couple of them had 6 meters on it. Now I've got plenty of 6 meter contacts. But, you know, this is back when it was first starting. And again, these ain't hard awards. We're just saying they're harder than some of the other ones. But So the N1CC, that's another one, and we'll let Dan talk about it too. But a lot of people will go out and they'll get that award, and they'll do it by taking two operators and using two radios in the same park and just working each other. And that's just wrong to get the award. If you want to do that for contacts or something, I'm still not a big fan of it, but for the award, it's not right. Just like if you're going to a park with 5 people, and that'd be like just like going to a park with 5 people and working 2 meters and 70 centimeters and just leaving. Nobody else has a chance to make a contact. So, what do you want to say about it, Dan? I know you had something.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot. I can't say a majority because I don't know. It'd be a tough stat to pull. But a whole bunch of people have their N1CC and their 6-pack awards by working park to parks with another activator in the same park. Now, to me, not really a problem. If you want the piece of paper, get the piece of paper. I did it. That's how I originally got my N1CC. Both hunter and activator was doing park to parks with other people in the park. Same thing with the 6-pack. But I'm a type of person that I agree with James that you should do it right. So I'm currently, even though I've had the award for a long, long time, both the 6-pack and the N1CC, I'm currently one park away from getting the real, N1CC. So I'm going back through it and I'm going back through it and manually doing it again, sitting here in the shack, which has been fun. It's not a hard thing to do, but it's time consuming because you, as a hunter, depend on the activator to go out and run these bands. So, and if you're in the summertime, it's going to be rare. You're going to find somebody on 80 and 160, so those are wintertime bands.
So Mike has a good question. He said, some people thought it was cheating when he worked your 15 activator POTA a few weeks ago without actually working each person. What do you say? Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say. I'll tell you what the rules say. The rules in POTA say that, and somebody else is going to tell you that the rules don't say that, and they're going to show you this little clause that says no relays. That no relays is in another section that is talking about hunters calling in. You can't do a hunter relay. But what it says about multiple operators, it says, in the case of multiple operators, you may pass the microphone. Not you must. You may pass the microphone. Now, with that being said, back when Jason Johnson was over top of POTA, me and him did an activation. And I said 2 operators multiple times. Sometimes he did get on the mic. But multiple times I said 2 operators. He didn't have a problem with it. He didn't say we're breaking POTA rules, and he was the boss of POTA.
You got to think too, guys. If you got 15 activators or even 5, let's not go to the extreme here. Let's not say stand by for the 33rd activator. Let's just say just 5. Let's say we're in Huntsville, which is coming up fast, so I've mentioned already. If you just got 5 activators and you pass the mic every single time for every single contact, after an hour, you're going to have like 7 people in the log.
And that's the point. We've had this discussion with people before because one of our activations in Huntsville, something got said about when we had multiple people. And a lot of the people on the POTA board or the POTA support team and stuff said, listen, you're basically, so first off, POTA's not a competition. Second of all, it's about fun. When you go to these big events and you do an activation, all your friends that you hunt all the time are wanting to activate with you. And like Dan said, if you start passing the mic, it's going to take you an hour to get your 10 contacts. And then all these hunters across the country, we're having fun.
Now for contacts where the other side's logs matter, because as a hunter, your log doesn't matter.
Right.
It's whatever the activator logs. But if you call in park to park and you need, to talk to all 10, no problem at all.
Yeah. We have sat, I have sat with 33 people before and passed a microphone multiple times during an
Yeah.
activation. But most of the time we said all 33 and all 33 spotted. And if you're smart and you're using Ham2K, it's going to give you the list right there in Ham2K, because when I do a big activation like that, I add 33 activators when I spot us, and it'll spot all 33 of those.
Yeah. And let's keep it real. Like Brian just said here, it's not like this happens every day.
Yeah.
It might, 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
The situation might come up,
I mean, I'll be honest. I've been part of a lot of really big activations, but I personally like to activate by myself.
Yeah.
I like to activate all by myself because I'm running the mic, I'm logging, I'm doing everything myself. Everything's done my way. I don't have to, like hear what did he say that call sign was, or what was this? And it's just I'd rather run the mic and log myself and do everything myself. But when I go to these events and there's 30 people there that I talk to 365 days a year on the radio, and they want to activate with me, I'm not going to say no, because we'll have to pass the mic and it'll take all day. I'm going to have fun and do the thing. And I've talked to people on the POTA board about this before. If they change the rule, they change the rule. But you know what's going to happen if they did change the rule to where you couldn't do that? A lot of people's not going to have fun no more, because people's not going to do big activation. I personally ain't going to do an activation with even 5 people, because that's too much. We all know I'm impatient. And when I go to a park, here's the thing. People will sit in the park all day long and call CQ. I don't. I have a rule, and most people know my rule. If I have to call CQ 3 times, the next word coming out of my mouth is either hopping or QRT, because I'm not sitting around waiting for it.
Yeah, Chris brings up a good point too. I think everyone should run their activations the way they like, which is nice about the POTA program, which is awesome. I mean, even when me and Juliet Mike go out for a 2-op, POTA activation, like we did the other evening, we did a actual real late shift. And the bands were good. But even with just 2 ops, if you pass the mic back and forth every time like we did, well, 99% of the time anyway, your QSO rate per hour is automatically dropped by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, run your activations like you want, but I want that high rate. I want that pile up. I want to work them in and out and get done with it. That's just me personally. If you want to sit in the park for 16 hours and call CQ until your vocal cords melt, do it. That's not me.
Here's the thing. So all you people that think that it's cheating when you do that, all you have to do is say, I need to talk to the other operators.
Yeah.
Because there are hunters that will say, I need to talk to all of them, and we pass the mic. But if you just want to talk about it and just take off 15 anyway, here's another thing. You can gladly hit my buy me a coffee up and pay for my gas that took me to get to that park to activate with them people, and then pay for the other 14 people's gas, and we'll run it your way. But until you're paying the bills for all 14 people, don't tell us how to do it.
Yeah.
That's my big problem. People are fussing about the way other people have fun.
It is. And the cool thing about it is, you as the hunter are listening to this activation that you don't agree with on your radio. There's this big ass knob right on the front of it called a VFO.
Spin it.
You don't have to hunt the guys.
Yeah, just spin it. It's not. We're not doing a contest. The ARRL does not send all 15 of us a check because we did a 15-person activation. We get absolutely nothing. That's just like somebody said. Somebody was a smart butt at Huntsville, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, and said, we got to hear all the operators. So I started saying, "Oh, please hold for the next 14 operators," and would hold the microphone up and hold the thing, and everybody'd say 5-9 in sequence.
That's right.
It's just, you just don't tell people how to have fun. POTA is not a contest. It's nothing to do with a contest. It's pieces of paper that you got to print yourself. Am I competitive? Yeah. But am I going to spend, hundreds of dollars to go to a Hamfest and then tell the people that I talk to all the time that I'm not going to activate it with it because it takes too long because 4 or 5 people say, well, I didn't get to talk to all 15. Well, you didn't ask to either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Thanks, Mike. I needed a good Molson moment.
Yeah, that was that kind of did strike me as one there. If you're not having fun the way I like to have fun, you're doing it wrong.
You wait till Huntsville. If I catch KMRD activating somewhere, I'm gonna go over there and sit across from him, and I'm gonna tell him all the reasons why he's doing it wrong because he's not having fun the way I want him to.
That's right.
It's crazy. Oh, anyway, well, we got sidetracked, but that was fun to talk about because I like to talk about lids, and that's the problem. That is the problem. When you get these people, you're bringing lids into POTA, and it drives me nuts. Oh, all right. Back to the heart. Go ahead.
Well, I guess everybody can be a lid in their own way. I mean, I'm sure I'm not going to divulge here, but I've heard plenty of stuff on air that I don't agree with. But I don't voice my opinion. Because it's not worth it. Because that's the way they want to do things. It's not up to me to decide that's right or wrong. That's the way you want to do it. Do it. I mean, if I don't agree with it, I just don't agree with it, and that's it.
Exactly.
I don't have to.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's a person in POTA that sometimes he's in a park, sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's in a 3-fer and claims he's in a 5-fer. Sometimes he's just driving down the road. Here's the thing. I don't like that. It's cheating. But you know what I do? I don't hunt him. In the story. I just don't hunt him. It's ridiculous. Stop telling people how to do the POTA. It's crazy. I'm a vid when someone says net's about to start 1K over.
Yeah. My youngin came in here and asked me a question. But it's
Mike says you need to out that person. Mike, that person has been outed many a times by multiple people sending videos into POTA and everything else. Multiple people have sent videos of him activating outside of the park, and it was said that it wasn't enough to do nothing about it.
Apparently, the 100-foot rule for trails. Some people treat that as a 100-mile rule for parks.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Right. All right, so back to awards. Now that we gotten our rants out of the way.
All right, so which one I covered? I just covered N1CC, right?
Yeah, and I did that for the hunter side as well. Yeah.
Okay, so another one that I think it's not hard to get, but you can't really get it by doing anything. You do, but you don't, and that is outstanding operator. And you know what? That's enabled. In order to get that, you got to be not that vid who's complaining about people doing 15 people activations. You got to be an outstanding operator, and you're nominated by your fellow peers is how you get that. So that one's hard for some people. Some people will never get it. Some people don't even care about it. To me, it's my most achieved award because of why I got it, and that is my time with the youths on the air and stuff. So,
Utes.
The Utes.
That's right.
I think I can't find the name of these. I looked for them now. Hey, thank you very much for the super chat, James. And thank you very much. Somebody super chatted earlier, and I was on a rant. Dan, who was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. It was right here. 15 activator poters are ruining ham radio.
Thank you very much. I'm sure I'll see you in Huntsville, and hopefully you'll tell me some cool stories like about wrestling champions or something again. He's laughing right now because he knows what that means. But it's I know 5 of them is a park supporter, but it goes up to 25. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, and that is Eagles. And that award, I'm not going to say it's hard, but it takes extreme dedication. To get 5 Eagles, okay, not so much. Even 10, but once you get up to 15 Eagles, 20 Eagles, 25 Eagles, that is some dedication, because who has 25 parks in driving distances they're going to drive 100 times to?
Well, I'd say even 1 eagle is a feat as an activator. That's 100 times you've been to that park and activated it.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Those awards are much easier as a hunter, because all you got to do is sit at home and hunt them. Put them in your Hamfests. Oh, let's put 1810 in my Hamfests, and every time James does 1810, I'll just get it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the super chat, Chris.
Yeah, eagles as a hunter are a lot easier to come by, because you got multiple activators that go to a park. You can, hunt each one. Yeah.
But, well, I mean, eagles in general, let alone getting 5, 10, 15, 20, or 25. Eagles in general, it takes a lot of dedication, because you got to go to the same park 100 times. And if that park, I've got eagles over an hour away from me, well over an hour away from me. So it's some dedication. I normally do them in roves is what I do. But
yeah,
thank you very much for the Utes there, Chris, and the super chat.
For the Utes.
But I can't remember what the 25 award is, and I looked on the award page and I cannot find it.
I know for hunters it's called the Master Sports Person.
Yeah, it's something like that.
But,
I actually have, believe it or not, I have a Master Sports Person.
Yep.
I have 25 eagles hunted, and people say, "But you don't hunt." Yeah, but I do park to park.
That's my so your most, I guess, coveted award would be your outstanding operator, which is probably an award I'll never get. And those people who do have it really deserve what they got, because, like you said, it is it's peer nominated. It's not something you can automatically get. It's not a numbers thing. Somebody has to nominate you for it.
Right. It was never something that I was just, I got to have that award. It's not something that I went. Terry says he has 79 hunter eagles.
Yeah.
That's a lot of eagles.
Yeah. The Master Sports Person for me was the one that took the longest to get, and probably the one I like the most. I know I don't have 79 eagles, but I'll count them here real fast. Let's see. That'll be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 53. I need one more at Dark State, Larry, for an eagle, by the way. And, Little Beaver, I need 3. So that'll be 55. So I'm creeping up on 55 eagles.
You just need 3 at Little Beaver.
Yeah.
All I can say is better start hunting early, because when I normally hit Little Beaver, I'm normally there about 8:30ish.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat. And I never got results back on the youth challenge, and have decided to go a different way with that. I believe. I think that I'm going to start dropping the videos of the kids, and I'm going to award the kids with what I think they done the best during their activations, because I never did get like a hands down who was the winner.
Yeah.
on it, and it's kind of been annoying. So
You got to think too, for all the awards in POTA, none of them are particularly hard to get. Most of them are just time consuming to get. And it depends on how much effort that you really want to put into it as well. I mean, back a couple years ago, I was like hunting literally 120 to 150 a day. And I've since slacked off because I was starting to get a little bit of burnout there. But depending on how much effort you get into it, it could come fast, it could come slow. Again, that's how you want to play radio. Don't just because somebody else goes out and gets an eagle in a month doesn't mean you have to if you don't want to. If you want to go out every other week or every third week or every fourth month and just play POTA in a park, you do you. Don't let somebody else dictate how you play the game because it's your game to play.
yep, exactly. And here's another one that's not hard at all. I think it's easy if you're rich, and that is to activate all states.
Yeah.
It's not hard to go activate a new state. It's just a simple fact of the time and the money that it takes to do that. I mean, it's going to be done by me.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Molly, who recently just got her 50th and is now the 13th person to ever activate all states and the first female.
The first YL, that's correct. Yeah, number 13.
So that's pretty awesome. I'll get there. I'm in no hurry. I'll get there or die trying, I guess. It's expensive to do these big roasts. And speaking of big roasts, Steven, man, he's just been absolutely killing it. I don't know how many states he got. I'm thinking he got around 12, but he did it all on a motorcycle. I talked to him earlier today. He was about 1,100 miles from the house. He said he was tired.
Imagine his butt hurt too. Man,
he's like, next year you should get you a motorcycle and go with me, but good luck keeping up. I was like, nope.
Negative.
I'm ham radio adventure guy, not ham radio young guy.
As far as like hunter awards, I've graduated away from, because I've gotten, the biggest, Eagle award you can get, the Master Sports Person. For now, anyway. Those might be expanded, but for now. And I've gotten about every other award there is imaginable for a hunter. And now the thing that I'm focusing on are the, hunted all of West Virginia, hunted all of Kentucky's, hunted all of Delaware's, of Georgia's. So to hunt all the parks in a state is where I've kind of geared to now, because when you first start as a hunter, so let's say you open up a POTA account today, you have no awards. You make a contact here and there, and then you get your, you've hunted 5 parks. You've hunted 10 parks. Those are cool. You start chasing those. Then you start chasing your eagle.
It's called that fix. It's called that fix.
Yeah. Then you start, chasing things, and there becomes, I don't know exactly where it is, but there becomes a certain, I guess, a plateau you reach
when they start jumping up in the hundreds.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a plateau that you reach as a hunter anyway, where it's tough to get over that hump. And I find that between like 8,000 and 9,000 parks hunted total, that's a tough little plateau to jump. Because at that point, new parks out there that you haven't hunted yet, sometimes are tough to find. And most of them you're going to find across the pond early in the morning, to be honest with you. So you're going to be hunting European parks and things like that. But once you start playing the numbers game, you can go wherever you want. You can do, the new to you parks. If you want to ramp that up, QSOs with a particular person. Like me, my enjoyment out of POTA is hunting new parks to get worked all states done. Not worked all states, worked all parks in a state. Get that done. And after that is working my friends that I see on the spot page. That's what POTA is to me now, after that big, couple year long push that I had and being totally insane about it and just balls deep into POTA. Now I'm more in, not to say it wasn't enjoyable then, but now I'm enjoying it more because it's leisurely at my pace rather than I think a pace that I'm trying to compete with somebody else. Because the only person I'm competing with is me, right?
Wait. So your pace is supposed to be leisurely?
Yeah. I imagine if you look at the hunter board right now for 2025, I'm probably not on the first 2 pages.
I'm going to have to figure out how to do this leisurely pace.
Yeah. Whereas in like 2023, 2024,
Yeah,
I
I know
murdered.
exactly what you're saying because you were on fire.
Yeah.
You were absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, I haven't looked, but I bet if you look at the stats now, I'm probably not in the top 20, and I don't want to be, I've been there, done that. I've proved I can do it. If I wanted to do it next year, I'm sure I could blow everybody out of the water,
and that's
but I
your
don't
thing.
want to dedicate that time.
That's how you're having fun right now.
Yeah.
Just like me, I have fun because I want to be up there.
Yep.
And it's funny, but because people will look, they're like, oh well, you're number one QSO, you must only do sideband. No, I do just as much CW as I do sideband. Well, you must go to the same park all the time. No, I mean I'm closing in. I am 7 parks away from my 1,000th unique park. You know how far I have to drive to get a new unique park? It's a long way. I have to. I don't care about being number one in a category. I care about being in the top 5 in all of the categories except for digital. I could care less about digital.
Yeah. See, Brian said I'm number 35 this year. That's fine. I think other people need to step up. To be very honest, if I'm 35 and not really doing anything, that's kind of come on, hunters, come on now. Because basically the only people that I hunt, the only people I've hunted this year are you and other friends in Hamley, as I call them, that when they appear on the spot page, I haven't gone out of my way. Well, if it's a new park to me and I see it, I'll hunt it for sure. But other than that, I haven't been doing much.
Touch on one more award and then we'll move on to another subject because man, we've talked 40 some minutes about awards and I didn't mean to do that. But this one's really funny, and it is probably the most hardest thing to do as a POTA activator, not as a hunter. I don't care. I think it would be easy to do as a hunter. A lot of people would disagree with me, but I think it'd be easy to do as a hunter.
We'll see.
But there's harder as a hunter. And that's an award it's not even an award. They made it a thing and never awarded you for it. And that is the Bailey Sprott Challenge. Activator hunt a park every day of the year.
I will admit that is easier to do as a hunter than an activator.
I think it's super easy to do as a hunter. I mean, you can look at the spots at any time of the day and there's at least 20 people activating.
Yeah.
So when you feel like going and go to the radio, you look at these 20 people and you go hunt one of them. Done for today. Not so much when you're an activator. If you've got COVID and you can barely get up to pee, guess what? You also got to get up and go to the park.
That's right.
If you're in the hospital because you're having heart conditions and they want to keep you, you have to tell the nurse, no, ma'am, I'm sorry, I got to activate. I'm in the Bailey and Sprott. I mean, it's the most dedicated thing. And it was brought up by a POTA person to start this thing.
Yeah.
And for them not to put out an award for it's the hardest thing to do as an activator. So, I mean, I don't get it.
Actually, no. You know the hardest thing to do for a true Bailey and Sprott activator? You know, the hardest thing. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, the hardest thing in POTA for you to do right now.
Okay.
Not activate. You should get an award when you don't activate. Matter of fact, the day that James does not activate, he should get a gold plaque.
Here's the thing. The day that I don't activate, the whole POTA webpage is just going to shut down that day. It's just going to totally shut down.
Yeah, right.
It could happen. It could happen. I've got one more year after this year that I'm going to guarantee a full year, and then after that,
So if you do it next year as well, that'll be what, 5 years, 4 years, 5 years?
5
Straight?
years.
Yeah.
5 years straight. Yeah. Well, it'll be over 5 years because I started before the first year.
Yeah.
But and then I'm not saying that I'm going to be a casual activator. I'll never be a casual activator. And I mean, I'll be like Terry's women in a hover round out there activating, you know. But I do have some other goals that I would like to do in POTA that requires me to not activate every single day because it requires some travel and stuff. And that's what makes it really hard. So I'm going to guarantee one more year. I'm going to get 5 straight years of solid activating. And then after that, I'm not saying that I'm going to stop, but I'm saying I'm not going to promise. That's why next year will be the last year for the PZN challenge. And that is the hardest thing to do as a hunter.
Yeah.
I promise you, there is nothing harder to do as a hunter than the PZN challenge.
That I agree.
So it will break you. How Terry has kept it going as long as he has. And I know right now I need to take him some coins, but I'm scared to see him because I'm scared he don't have no hair left. Because I mean, people will tell me that with this vocal propagation right now that he'll be in my pileups just screaming, and I can't get him. You know, he's lucky because he gets me on late shifts and stuff. But you know, it's just rough for him.
Sandy wants to know how many states you have to go to reach 50.
That is after next year, Andy. You got one more year after this one. After next year, no PZN challenge. But next year, I'm promising is going to be the hardest year for the PZN challenge, and it's because I'm going to actually hold to my guns and absolutely refuse. Matter of fact, I'm going to set a rule for next year's PZN challenge that if you message me and ask for help, you're automatically removed from the PZN challenge.
And you're going to do the whole challenge. You're going to do one activation of a day on PSK 31.
Well, I mean, it's, for example, like I would do a lot more CW than I do, but doing the PZN challenge, I have to spread it out and do sideband because everybody don't know CW. You know, so it's.
He already activates QRP 50% of the time, Brent.
You know, here's the thing: I activate QRP more than people realize.
Oh yeah,
way more than people realize. A lot of times on the late shift, I'm QRP to death. So
yeah,
it's funny. It is. What's crazy is what's absolutely crazy is I'll be running 5 watts, and people will give me a 20 over on late shift. And it is crazy.
That's a good goal. Activating every day is insane. I knew I wouldn't be able to do it, Chris says, K3MTO. Last year, my goal was to average 1 per day and finish 2024 with 366. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really weird if I'm spotted, Mike.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me. It happens all the time, but I don't think my Hamfests went off. He's probably messing with me, or he just spotted me.
No, it said not spotted.
Oh, so you mean not spotted? Okay. Okay, gotcha. Yes, that is true. But yeah, Mike, sometimes people will.
You know what we should do? We should, on like a Friday night or a Saturday or something, we should record a Hump Day Happy Hour and then just schedule it. And then during Hump Day Happy Hour, we should go out and spot. And then run the
We could do it on shenanigans. We could do it on We literally could record shenanigans and nobody would know a difference.
Oh, that would be great.
I've thought about it before. I really, really, really have.
That would be funny. Got to do this stream while running a pilot.
I have done streams and ran pilot-ups.
Yeah.
The stream ain't very good, but I've done them.
All right, we got 10 minutes left. All right, we touched on awards. What else did you want to?
Well, I had a lot of things that I was going to cover, but I'm not going to go into them with 10 minutes either.
We got time. We can stay here till 10. It don't matter to me.
No, we can't because here's the thing. After the stream, I'm going to head over to After Chat, and this is what's really cool. So this is the power that Patreons have, because After Chat's a Patreon thing, and they'll get over there, and I'll be in there for like 30 or 40 minutes, and it'll start getting later in the evening, and then the next thing you know, one of them's chanting POTA, POTA, POTA.
That's true.
And then two or three of them start chanting it. And then I'm like, all right, forget it. And then I end up going and doing a late shift. So they convince me into a lot of things. I can't say Patreons do not have their benefits because they do. But they get a lot more than that too. So, but all right, what you got coming up this weekend, Dan?
Well, your closest park is just so far away, though.
Oh, it is. It really, really is.
It's tough to walk across the road.
It hurts. It hurts.
I don't have anything.
Sometimes I'll go to the second closest.
Yeah. I don't have anything in particular coming up. I know Support Your Parks is coming up. I want to say
weekend after
July 1920. And yep. So participate in the Support Your Parks event, and you see your activators on, hunt them, respot them, have fun with POTA overall, and do it like you want to do it. Don't let somebody else, don't let two goober heads on YouTube tell you how to run your POTA. Man,
that's
just
right.
Do it how you want to do it. And if anybody else gives you crap for it.
And here's the thing. If your way of having fun with POTA is bitching because we're going to do a 15 plus operator at Huntsville this year, and saying all 15, if that is your way of having fun, guess what? You can do that. Just do it at your house while you're in the bathroom taking a crap, because that's what it is. It's crap.
Nice.
I welcome whoever wants to complain about it to come activate with us too. They're welcome, and they can run the mic. They can run the mic too.
There you go.
We might do another singing activation where I hold the mic up and everybody says 5-9.
It is coming up on Huntsville.
That was a fun time. It was quite funny because we did it for I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, and we stopped doing it. And some guy said, I need to get all the other operators. I said, all right, hold for the next one. He said, no, I want you to sing to me. Anyway, all right, guys. For myself, I'm going to head over to After Chat, which is a Patreon benefit. If you're not a Patreon, you can head over there and join for free for 7 days. And the kicker, it doesn't give me a notification when you join for free. So message me or Dan so we can get you in the Discord room and hang out with us. That's right. Click that like and subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And I'm not going to say I'm not POTAing tonight. I'm not going to say I am. We'll see what the Patreons, they'll probably flip a coin.
POTA.
Anyway, later, Mike. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll catch everybody on the air. 73, everybody.
See you, 73.